back to my channel. I'm so excited for today's video as it is bits and pieces of my phone interview. So with this video, I have the recruiter's questions she asked me. I took out my own answers because I feel as though a lot of my answers were based on my specific jobs that I've had and different experiences that I have had. And what I'm going to do to replace those is I'm going to talk to you guys about a good way to go about answering that question, but being generic and authentic in your own way, because I feel like every question that you do answer should be based on your own. Don't copy other people's answers completely. I mean, you can do a little bit, but I mean, it's not going to get you anywhere. They want to see you be authentic and generic and be able to see you for the person that you are. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please click that subscribe button and that like button, as I plan to take you guys on my Disney College program journey along the way. Hope you enjoy. I know a lot of people may be thrown off a little bit by this video because a lot of people that do a phone interview put the raw, uncut footage out there. Me personally, I talk about where I work, and you know, unfortunately there are a lot of scary people in the world, and there's also a lot of amazing people, probably the amazing people that are watching this video, but unfortunately if there was a scary person to watch this video, they might try to find me and find my job and find where I work, and that wouldn't be really good for me. That would put my own safety at risk. So that's a big reason why I decided to do this the way I'm doing. Also just because, as I said, you gotta be generic and authentic and honest. Another quick thing to mention is I highly suggest watching my video all the way through. I know you might be a little frustrated that I'm not giving you the full uncut footage, but if you have a phone interview and you're preparing, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Feel free. I can link my Instagrams and everything below, and you can totally reach out to me. I helped someone today with their phone interview preparation and everything, and she was so thankful, and so fingers crossed she has her phone interview in a couple days. But the recruiter gives a lot of good information on here and talks a lot about different scenarios, because I asked some really good questions, but they aren't at the end of the video. Some of them are in between. So please watch all the way through so you can get some really good advice and tips from myself and the recruiter. Enjoy. So a quick little story time about my interview. My interview was 40 minutes long, which is crazy. On top of that, I did have a little issue where I decided to record my phone interview to self-reflect. Originally, I did not have the intent of making a YouTube channel, but it just so happens that I decided it'd be a good idea. So I decided to record my phone interview to be able to self-reflect if I didn't get in. Hey, why didn't I get in? Let's self-reflect. Let's watch back on the video. So I used my brother's old phone to record the video and happened to have signed into my iCloud. So when the recruiters call you, it's supposedly supposed to be blocked, spam, or restricted. For me, though, it was not. It was a Florida number. And so my first instinct on the other phone when it rang was to hit decline. And I went to go answer it on my phone and the call was gone. So immediately I had a panic attack. Luckily enough for you, though, that's why you put a second phone number on your application. They called my house phone. So I did do the interview on my house phone, and it ended up being okay. But so it was a little chaotic at first, but got into the swing of things and made it all better. So on that note, don't record your phone interview unless it's necessary or you're prepared to maybe use a camera. At that time, I didn't have a camera. I just bought a camera about a week ago to be able to take you guys on my Disney College program journey. So just be prepared for that. So big first tip about your phone interview is smile. I know how silly that sounds to be on the phone with someone and smiling because they can't see you smiling, but they can definitely hear your smile through the phone. It makes a big difference when you answer the phone and you say, "Hi, this is Megan," versus "Hi, this is Megan." Smiling, they can hear your smile, and that's a huge thing to Disney. So make sure that you smile first thing when you pick up the phone. Sound excited, confident, and ready. Another big thing with that being said is be prepared. Don't over-prepare yourself. But with me, I'm going to post a picture in the video of what my setup looked like. I looked like I was super over-prepared. I had a lot. I had about like 10 pages of stuff. But for me, I found that very helpful for myself. I didn't feel over-prepared. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I felt like it worked for me because I had specific questions, and then I had a little bit of everything for all of my jobs, like a conflict I had faced or some sort of generic thing like that, some safety protocol things. I had it all bulleted out, and I had it for different jobs because I've had a couple jobs and different scenarios and different things like that. So I didn't feel over-prepared. I felt very confident, and that's another thing, be confident. So I feel like everyone kind of does their own thing. My thing was I did my interview in front of a mirror so I could look at myself, remember to smile, even though I feel like I forgot to do that a little bit, but still sounded enthusiastic and confident and was able to talk about my answers and give them my own generic answers that were my own. So here's my little setup I had. I had about 10 pieces of paper with different highlighted things to help me remember things and examples. I also had some of my top roles down and why I would be good at these top roles. So definitely be prepared. I also had all this taped up to the mirror that was in my room so I could look at myself and just remember to smile. Another big tip is to make sure that you have a pen and a piece of paper. So during your interview, if you have any questions that pop into your head, you are able to ask them at the end of your interview, or if you are on that topic, you can talk about it during that time. Also have a pen and a piece of paper so that you are able to write down your recruiter's name so that you don't forget their name. That way you can address them multiple times during the interview. Make sure you use manners. Say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. They really do appreciate using manners and addressing them by their name at certain topics that you were talking about, and also at the end make sure that you thank them by their name for their time.
Yes, I'm ready whenever you are, Stacy.
Awesome. Well, Megan, we are going to be together today for 20 minutes, and I'm going to be asking you questions about your work experience, and we're going to discuss the roles that you're interested in. Also, I want to make sure we address any questions you may have about our college program, so we'll do that at the end of the interview, okay?
Perfect.
Awesome. Megan, why are you interested in our Disney College program?
So right off the bat, the recruiter's going to ask you about why you want to do the Disney College program. So be generic. Talk about why you love Disney. Why are you doing the Disney College program? Obviously, don't say, hey, I'm doing the Disney College program because I want to go to the parks for free. They don't want to hear that. You're not going to get it if you say that. Be generic. Why do you want to do that? Yes, that's awesome, but people don't apply just to get to go to the parks for free every day. At least I don't think so. Like for me, I'm kind of at a career roadblock where I don't know what I want to do with my career. I'm currently an early education major and a liberal studies major. So for me, it's more of me figuring out exactly what I want to do. So I talked about my love for Disney. I talked about that and also how I really want to get involved with the Disney Vacation Club at Disney. My answer was very long though. I talked to her for quite a bit. But be generic. Talk about you. Why do you want to do the Disney College program? Right after that, they're going to talk to you about some eligibility questions to make sure you're eligible for the program, and then they're also going to go over some personal information, such as your school you attend, and other personal things like that.
And I see as well, though, that you've never been employed by the Walt Disney Company or by 21st Century Fox. Just a quick question, though, regarding your eligibility. Are you currently an international student studying in the United States on a visa?
No, I am not, ma'am.
Yep. Okay. I figured as much, but definitely wanted to ask. Thank you. And so, Megan, as you may be aware as well, all of our roles in our parks and resorts do require you to wear a costume and comply with our Disney look and appearance guidelines. Are you familiar with those guidelines, or would you like me to review those with you?
Yes, I'm familiar with them, and I can comply to them.
Awesome. So definitely sounds like you are receptive to those guidelines if you were to be offered an internship. So based off of that, then, for our costuming purposes, we do have some questions regarding body modifications.
Of course.
So please know that failure to disclose any body modifications, inclusive of tattoos, may result in the cancellation of your program if an offer is extended to you. So this is going to include any modifications that you currently have or may get prior to your arrival. So Megan, do you happen to have any tattoos that would be visible outside of a tank top or a sleeveless shirt and a pair of mid-thigh length shorts?
A reason why I cut this part out is because we did talk about this for a long time. Yes, I do have 2 tattoos. One of them is visible. It's only this big. It's about 1 inch by 1/2 inch, not even. That is small enough that I could cover it up with makeup if my role does allow me to. So that's a big thing. But before you have your phone review, make sure you measure your tattoos if you do have any tattoos that are visible. Also about piercings. I only have the traditional piercings and I don't even wear earrings anymore, so it's not an issue for me.
A valid U.S. driver's license.
Yes, ma'am, I do have a valid U.S. driver's license.
Awesome. And so, Megan, I see that you are interested in our Walt Disney World College program here in Orlando, Florida, as well as our Disneyland College program in Anaheim, California. So we are going to be considering you for both of those locations. I see that you do prefer Walt Disney World in Florida. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
did express an interest in our fall program. So that is our 5-month program that would have you starting in August, working all the way through to January. However, if that season isn't available, you're also interested in our 7-month Fall Advantage. So that is our longer program that would have you starting in either May or June, working all the way through to January as well. And I see the dates that you provided are perfect for both of those seasons, that you're able to start as early as May the 18th and depart as late as January the 21st. So thank you for providing that availability. And now just as a quick note, though, Megan, all of our dates are subject to availability at the time of acceptance. Okay?
Okay, so with that, Stacy, so say with my date, I put my arrival date, I could come as early as May 18th. Does that mean that if that date's not available, that I possibly won't be accepted to the program, or could I just come at a possible later date?
It would just be, there are other dates that would be available. So we're definitely, though, going to have fall being your primary season that you're interested in. So those dates would have you arriving sometime in August.
Perfect.
Like August 3rd, August 10th, August 17th, August 24th, or August the 31st.
I'm perfectly okay with either one. I have no problem coming
You're fine with
early.
either one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, did you want me to swap it then? Do you want to put Fall Advantage being your primary season that you're interested in, since you do have that availability, and then put fall being your second season choice?
So if Fall Advantage does fill up, I still would be able to possibly get in the program. I would just come for fall.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, let's do that.
Swap those? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead then and do Fall Advantage to be your first season choice. Perfect. Definitely, since you already have that availability,
Yeah,
I'll just swap those for you. So we'll consider you then for that Fall Advantage. So yeah, basically what it is unfortunately, like I said, we can't guarantee all the dates are going to be there, but we do have arrivals in May. That we have a May the 11th, May the 18th, May the 26th, and June the 1st.
perfect.
So yeah, if May the 18th isn't available, it might be like a May 21st or a June 1st one, or excuse me, May 26th or June 1st one. Those might be the dates that would be available to you. So
Okay.
that's kind of how that works, just because we don't want to have too many people arriving or departing on the same day. That would not be fun.
Yeah, no.
They would not like us. Yeah, we don't want to do that to them.
Yeah.
All right?
Perfect.
So Megan, as part of our program, we do have our living component. So in our housing, though, you could have anywhere from 1 to 7 other roommates that you're going to be sharing an apartment with. You're also going to be sharing a bedroom with someone else, probably someone that you've never met before. So how do you think you're going to manage living with 1 to 7 other roommates who you probably don't know? You're all going to be busy because you're going to be working full-time and taking classes. So how do you think you're going to
With
manage?
this question, I was completely honest. I told recruiter Stacy that I live at home. I've never lived away from home just because my school is only about a 25-minute commute. So I don't see a need in living at school only other than the experience. I wanted to save some money financially, so I just live at home with my mom. But when I was younger, I grew up in a house of 6. So I have some older siblings and they've all moved out. But so I lived in a house of 6, and so I'm used to living with a big group of people. But yeah, just be honest. But I told her that I think it would be a good experience living on my own and also living with a big amount of people just to make some friends and connections. But I was really excited because I am.
That's so, Megan, looking at your application, I see that you do have quite a bit of work experience listed on there, and it is quite varied as well. Looks like you have experience.
What recruiter Stacy meant by this is having a variety of work experience. Some work experience I've had, which I mentioned in my introduction video. If you haven't already watched that, go check it out. I have worked in retail, I have worked at a restaurant, I've worked at a front desk at a hotel, I have worked at a supermarket as a cashier and as a key holder, and I also work at a children's fitness center. So I've done a variety of things, and that's what she meant by having a good variety of work experience.
All of your experiences that you've had, though, what has made you excited to go to work? What did you look forward to when you were headed into work? And then on the flip side of that, what were some of the more challenging or difficult tasks that you didn't necessarily care for?
So during this time, I took the time to talk to recruiter Stacy, and I explained to her about why I love to work. Not really sure why. I have always loved working. I got my first job when I was 14. I've always been very work-driven and have had a really strong work ethic. I just love working. Not everybody's like that, so I mean, definitely be honest. If this is only your first job or your second job, explain to the recruiter, I want to work at Disney because I want to get more work experience. everybody's different. No one is going to have the same answer. On the flip side, though, of talking about a bad experience or a difficult experience I had, everyone has a bad day at work. Everyone has a rough experience. You know, you might have that unsatisfied customer, that unsatisfied guest. So I took the time to explain to recruiter Stacy a couple different situations I had at some different jobs where I did have a situation like that and how I handled it. Because at the end of the day, you do want to make the guest or the client smile, and you want to make sure that they're having a good experience and that they're okay at the end of the day.
And I love how you were like, yeah, sometimes they do have those difficult or challenging guests or customers. And
Yeah.
Making that up. So tell me, though, about a time when you did have a difficult or challenging customer. Maybe they were irate about something. How did you handle that? What did you do? How did you resolve that situation?
During this time, I took the time to talk to recruiter Stacy, and I did tell her about a rough and difficult situation I had at work and how I handled the situation.
Awesome. I love that. So, Megan, I know you expressed an interest in a lot of our roles, which is wonderful. And so when you electronically signed your application, you agreed to be considered for the roles in which you indicated an interest. And I just want to make sure you understand you could be offered any of those roles in which you did express a low, moderate, or high interest. Now, I know all of the roles that you do have an interest in, there is going to be that element of safety that is involved. So I know you mentioned prior safety was the top priority when you were working, sure that that was always top of mind.
During this time, I then talked to recruiter Stacy about how I implemented safety into my everyday job. So with being a children's fitness instructor, I talked about the proper spotting we use. I talked about having overall eye of the whole gym facility and being able to see everything at all times. So yeah, just go off your own work experience, talk about different protocols you guys have to follow and how you keep yourself safe and the guest or customer safe, and just talk about safety, because safety is definitely a huge thing to Disney.
Perfect. And now, Megan, one of the things, though, that we have heard from our former college program participants is that they were surprised by the amount of time that they were standing and walking in their roles, as well as the heat to which they were exposed. So we just want you to be aware we cannot guarantee an indoor or outdoor location, and you could be working in any environment with the potential of standing or walking for long periods of time.
I told recruiter Stacy that I'm totally okay with standing for long periods of time, as I already do that. In my job, I could stand anywhere from a 12-hour shift and sometimes not even have a break. So I'm totally okay with that. I mean, the heat's definitely going to take some time to get used to, but where I live, the summers are pretty hot. But to have that year-round, it will definitely be a new experience, but I told her that I'm totally okay with that, and I'm excited for the experience.
Awesome. I love that. You definitely sound like you have a lot of energy, so that's good. Yep.
I do. I'm very excited.
Megan, I know you, and I know you mentioned within that about cleaning. So I know all of the roles that you do have an interest in as well, there is going to be an element of cleaning involved. So whether we're working as a lifeguard or quick service food and beverage hostess or merchandise or attractions, whatever the role is, there is that element of cleaning involved. So cleaning tables. Also, I know, though, that you do have an interest in our house person role. So in that role, it would focus primarily, though, on cleaning. So it would be cleaning up after our guests, maybe assisting the housekeepers in cleaning the guest rooms. So handling the soiled linens, taking those off the bed, putting the new ones on. Also cleaning restrooms, so not just the toilets and the sinks, but also the floors, mirrors, showers, and tubs. So would you be receptive to cleaning up after others if you were placed?
As I told recruiter Stacy, I explained to her that I'm totally open to that because I was really open to doing any job and still would be. I'm going there to figure out what I want to do, so, you know, I was really open to anything. I think the only thing I put down to not do was custodial, because I've heard great things about custodial. You know, you have a lot of freedom to go do whatever you want, in a sense of being able to walk around the park and, like, sweep up and different things like that. But I'm just not one that does really good with the smell of warm feces or anything like that. So I just don't think I'd be able to clean that up, and also just the warm smelling trash of Florida heat. I just don't think I would do okay with that. I also took this time to talk to recruiter Stacy about different ways I've cleaned in these different jobs that I've had, and different ways that we do clean, and all the different scenarios and different jobs that I've had.
Now, I know you also do have an interest as well in some of our roles where you would be working with food and beverage, and I know you have that experience of working at a restaurant. So within our are food and beverage roles, whether it's quick service or merchandise, though, you could be working in a kitchen environment. So making hamburgers or hot dogs or dropping fries into a deep fryer. Also within merchandise, you might have that opportunity of doing very similar roles like that, or even making peanut brittle or candy apples or cotton candy. So would you be receptive to not just selling and serving the food, but also preparing it?
And once again, here went off my experience. You know, I have worked in a restaurant. I also went to a technical high school, and I was in the culinary and hospitality program. So I have a lot of experience with food. I also have my ServSafe certifications for those that do or don't know what that is. So I have a lot of experience with food and hospitality. So I just talked to her about my experience with these kind of things, told her about my certification, and I was just honest.
Perfect. And now that kind of leads me to my next question. I see that you're also interested in our lifeguard role. And so for the lifeguard role, it does require that you complete a lifeguard test upon arrival. So that would include swimming 200 yards, either freestyle or breaststroke, retrieving a 10-pound brick from the deepest section of the pool, which is a minimum of 8 feet deep, as well as treading water with your hands out of the water for 2 minutes. So do you feel that you'd be able to successfully complete that test upon arrival?
A huge reason I had started laughing, silently of course, when recruiter Stacy had asked me about this was because I'm not the best swimmer. I used to be when I was younger, could definitely swim really good, but I just lost that skill of swimming. I doggy paddle. So me doing the lifeguard test was pretty amusing. I don't think I'd be able to do it, but I had said to her about my certifications in the last part of the video where I had talked about my certifications. I forgot to mention that I have my CPR, my AED, my choke, all of that stuff. So I had mentioned that to her and she's like, oh, well, lifeguarding. And that's why I started chuckling because I was like, huh.
Possibly. I've never had to do something along those lines. If I did get that role and say for some reason I didn't pass the test, how would that go about in the whole situation?
Absolutely. So how we usually work that is you would be placed in another role. So it's going to typically probably be a role that is a high need role. So like a quick service or something on those lines. So
okay.
Yeah, for those individuals who aren't able to pass that assessment or that test, we do go ahead and we put them in a different one. Yeah.
Okay.
So recast them into that different. Okay.
Okay, that's totally fine. I mean, I'm definitely willing to try. I just have never tried to do a lifeguard test, but it's definitely something I would be interested in doing.
And right here, as you can see, be honest. Don't lie, because it's okay if you can't pass the swim test. As you can see, if you aren't able to pass it, which she told me does happen a lot, they'll just put you in a new role. So don't lie and be like, yeah, I can do the test. Because that's why I said to her, it's something I'd be willing to try, but I've never had to do something like that before. And that was my honest response. I don't know if I would be able to do it. I've heard lifeguard tests are very hard, so I don't know if I'd be able to do it, but I was willing to try it.
Okay, perfect. And so Megan, as I mentioned, we are going to consider you for all the roles in which you did express the interest, whether you indicated them to be a low, moderate, or high interest. Now, I know one of the other roles that you're interested in, though, is our character performer role. So with that, though, it does require that you attend an entertainment audition. Have you had a chance to look and see where we're hosting those different
I did end up attending a character audition. I ended up attending the one in New York City on March 1st. So I definitely will be making a video about that, giving you guys a little insight and detail about how all of that went. So I'm really excited to make that video soon. So stay tuned for that video.
Okay, perfect. I love it. And so, yep, we'll go ahead and indicate that you are going to be attending that audition in New York City. Now, if for some reason, I know you mentioned that you're kind of leaning more towards yes, that you are going, but if for some reason you realize, oh goodness, I forgot I have to work that day, or I have this or that that I'm doing, no worries. We're going to go ahead and consider you then for those other roles as well.
Okay.
So you may even hear from us prior to the audition, because it's a good few weeks away. So if you do hear from us from the prior to the audition, you would just need to go in and accept that offer. And then how that works is once you go to the audition, typically about 2 to 3 weeks afterwards is when we'll get the results of that, and we would just swap out roles. So if you've already been offered a role and accepted that role, they would just swap them out and say, okay, Megan, we know you were offered position X, and that's what you accepted. You're no longer going to do that. You're now going to be a character performer.
Perfect.
So that's how that go, no worries. We're going to go ahead and consider you for those other roles as well. Okay?
Awesome.
Perfect. And now a lot of the roles as well, though, may require you to have quite a bit of repetitive heavy lifting and pushing and pulling that can be associated with them. So are you receptive to the physical nature of those roles?
So once again, based on this question, just answer it honestly. Talk about your own work experience. I know with me, sometimes my work can be a little bit repetitive. So I kind of just talked about my own experience, about how my work days could be a little bit repetitive and how I went about making every new day a new exciting day and changing it up a little bit.
Okay. And so based on the descriptions in the role checklist and the roles discussed today, are you able to perform the essential functions of the roles with or without a reasonable accommodation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? All right. Well, Megan, those are all the questions that I have for you, but let me share what's going to happen from here so you know what to expect from us, okay? So we are going to be sending communication to your dashboard on the Disney Career Portal where you applied, and just want you to be aware that there's not going to be any changes to your dashboard until that final decision has been made. You can easily, though, check the status of your application. When you log into your dashboard, there is a bell in the upper right-hand corner of it where you can find those updates. And our decisions are made continuously over the course of our season. So you could hear from us as soon as tomorrow all the way through to April. So we just want to make sure you're getting that information in a timely manner, because in the event you are extended an offer, you will have 7 days from the time you are offered to accept and pay your fees in full. Otherwise, you may forego your invitation to participate.
Awesome.
Okay?
All right.
Awesome. And so, Megan, if you're offered a role with us, you're going to receive all sorts of great information regarding those program details. So, like how to accept or decline the offer, the arrival and departure dates available to you, the role that you're going to be doing, the educational information will be in there. All of that wonderful information would be forthcoming at that time. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Awesome. Yay. And so, and I know we're a little over on time, but did you have any questions in regarding the college program? Because if you did, I could go ahead and answer maybe like 1 or 2 of those.
Okay. Yeah, one quick question I definitely had was, is there an opportunity as a Disney college program to get involved at all with the Disney Vacation Club? Because I am very passionate about that and could definitely see myself working in that sort of role or field in the future long term.
Yeah, so it would be, we do have individuals who work out of our DVC locations in various roles. So whether that's lifeguard or front desk or quick service food and beverage merchandise. So there is opportunity of working out of one of those resorts. Now, not necessarily obviously doing like the timeshares or, you know, being like a member service to where you are telling about the different DVC locations and trying to get people to book those tours, that type of thing. But certainly having that opportunity maybe of working at one of the resorts in a capacity and an hourly role of what our roles entail. So
awesome.
Is that something that you'd be interested maybe in working out of one of the DVC locations?
Yeah, I would definitely love to get involved with DVC. But as I said, I'm completely open to any opportunity because I would love to figure out what exactly I want to do with my career and possibly working at Disney full time after the program. So I'm really open to anything. Any opportunity sounds wonderful.
Okay, perfect. And so any other questions that you may have for me, Megan?
Oh, I have a bunch, but I'm gonna go with this one. So, I know definitely a lot of people ask you about Disney and how your Disney journey got started and how you got involved with Disney, but you know, in life, as you said, there's definitely those obstacles and like little struggles you might face, like having a bad day or something. What was the struggle that you faced getting to your Disney career that you're currently at, if it's not too personal, or like an obstacle, and how you overcome that and got to the point that you are at right now?
Absolutely, and yeah, so working with guests, sometimes I work front desk, and so sometimes we would have guests that would come up and they would be upset about things that were completely out of our control. I would have people yell at me for the fact that it was raining. I would have people that one year we had to cancel fireworks because the whole state of Florida had a ban on fireworks just because we were in a drought. and we had a lot of wildfires that were going on in the state, and I had a guest yelling at me because he came to Walt Disney World, I guess, only for the fireworks is what it. So I think with all of those, though, it's really just, it's listening to the guest and, you know, just apologizing as much as we can and trying to empathize with them, because I realized, if I were on vacation and it rained all the time, I would be upset as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And so certainly just trying to maybe offer different, say, hey, suggest different things maybe that they could do, maybe some things that are a bit more indoors if it is raining quite a bit. And so I think those were some of the more challenging ones, just things that were completely out of our control. Or I was at a guest one time, they were upset because they got stuck in I-4 traffic, which is our interstate here.
Yeah.
And they wanted to be at Disney a few hours earlier, and they got stuck in behind they weren't in the accident, but they got stuck in the accident traffic, and so they were very upset. And so really just listening to them, and like for those guests, I was able to really just turn that around for them and say, well, unfortunately, I apologize that you did get stuck in that, and but let's go ahead and try to get your vacation now restarted on that right foot, And
Yes.
so really, just went above and beyond and trying to make that vacation be much different for them. And at the end of it, they came back and were like, thank you so much, And so I think that, just trying to really listen and actively listen, because each guest is going to, some guests just want to get it off their chest and say, hey, this is what happened, and then they feel better. Other guests obviously, need a little bit more, and so just really listening to each and every guest, I think, but I would say all of the roles that I've ever had on Disney property really have helped me in my role of what I currently do of working and working in HR, trying to get individuals and hiring those individuals for the certain roles, because just knowing what those skill sets are that are required for those certain roles.
Of course.
On me in determining when I am interviewing people, if they seem like they would do fairly well in that type of a position.
Yeah.
And so, I think that all of those struggles and, just of how I've handled them in the past, and like when I'll listen to students like yourself and you're like, well, this is how I would handle that, and it's like, yep, you handled it to the best of your ability, you did great, you tried to offer that guest service recovery. And so I think that all those struggles that I had, or all those challenges, really helped me, though also when I did become a recruiter, because sometimes you do have to tell people, unfortunately, we're not going to hire them, and that is a hard thing to break that news to someone. And so really just being able to do that delicately and, not wanting to, break their ego or anything like that. So I think all of those struggles have definitely, or those challenges, I shouldn't say struggles, those challenges that I had over the years helped me and have helped me in the role that I'm in. So, yeah, great question.
That's awesome, Stacey. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I really appreciate that, because I completely feel like I can relate, and I understand, because I feel the same way about, listening to the guest and going above and beyond and make sure that they have a magical experience at Disney.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Megan, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with me today, and for your interest in our program. It has been a pleasure talking with you, and certainly want to wish you all the best. And I hope you have a magical day and a wonderful week ahead, all right?
Thank you, Stacey. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me, and you have a magical day as well.
Oh, my pleasure. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. As you can tell, I was freaking out a little bit at the end. I happened to cut that little part off because I happened to scream and didn't want to break anybody's eardrums. And I'm so sorry for my little bit of a messy room. We just had gotten back from vacation, and I was still unpacking and whatnot. And also I had my dog wrapped in my blanket so that she would not bark during my phone interview. I also was just very nervous. That last hour beforehand, I thought I was gonna puke, but the whole week leading up to it, I was so excited, and I felt really prepared. And as I said, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help each and every one of you. If you're preparing to apply to the Disney College program, if you're preparing for a phone interview, a web-based interview, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to help each and every one of you, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video, and I'm really excited to take you all on this journey. And I do apologize for cutting out bits and pieces of my phone interview. This video would have been much longer if I hadn't done that, and it's already a really long video to begin with. So I really appreciate you all. Click that subscribe button, click that like button. I really can't wait to take you guys on this journey with me, and I hope you enjoy. Have a great day.